Welcome to this video on compound growth. Today we'll be looking at growth and also compound annual growth rate. The formula for compound annual growth rate is this: CAGR, compound annual growth rate, equals V final value over V beginning, all to the power 1 over time in years, minus 1. But first we're going to look at normal growth. So we start with our old number, times this by a multiplier. We get a new number. For example, if we have a plant's 1 metre tall, and the plant increases by 10%, times by 1.1. Times by 1 to keep it the same, 0.1 is adding the 10%, and this will give us 1.1 metres. Let's say it reduces by 10%, because our growth can still be negative. 1 metre times 0.9 equals 0.9 metres. Growth also applies to companies, the bank accounts, really anything that can grow. However, if this change happens year on year, the same amount of growth, for example compound interest, we can use this formula: old times multiplier to the power of time equals new number. We'll take this example with the tree or plant again. 1 metre times a multiplier of 1.1, which means a 10% growth each year, to the power of 5 years. So it grows by 10% each year. After 5 years, we'll get a value of, put in the calculator, 1 times 1.1 to the power of 5 gives us 1.61051. Call it approximately 1.61 metres. Now we'll use this example, actually no we won't, we'll use a different example for our compound annual growth rate. A company is worth £10,000 at the end of year 1. By year 5, the end of year 5, it's now worth £65,000. So this means it's gone to the end of year 2, grown, end of year 3, end of year 4, and then to the end of year 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 years of growth. We can use this number 4 and these two numbers in the formula above. So V final, 65k, over 10k. Clearly the thousands cancel out. I'm going to take this to the power of 1 over t. In this case t is 4. Minus 1. I'm going to put this in the calculator. This gives us 0.5967, and the number goes on. This isn't our percentage yet. We times this by 100, because that's the decimal. Times it by 100 and we get 59.67, and again the number goes on. Percent growth year on year plus this amount of percentage. We can check it manually by taking our 10,000 times by 159.67, using the percent button, and this gives us 15967. Then we can take this number 15967 times by 159.67%, and this gives us 25,483, roughly. The number goes on. Take this number, so 40,688 times this number again, this should be our last one, and this gives us a number slightly off because we have rounded, 65,000. This value, the compound annual growth rate, is an average. It's what value you would get that would apply to this formula here. It doesn't mean that each year was the same, but this is the average growth rate.